to go once it starts
No,
recording.
you're live streaming now. I mean, there's a backup that maybe we should do just in case. If you
Yeah.
if you go to the device that has the red lights,
Yeah.
first of all, how many plugs are in the back? It should
There's-
be
There's 6 in the back.
okay. So I make sure that's right. Is there a little? Is there
Huh?
on the joystick device? Is there a little cord in back of that besides the Ethernet cord you plugged in?
No, just the Ethernet cord.
All right, so that's one thing I might have to look at when I go to the office tomorrow. All right, so I'll just have to figure out some other time. Obviously, I don't want to hold you up more than it is. I am live streaming. What was the backup on the device? The red colored device. The top right. Below the words Black Magic Design, there's an REC button.
Yeah, you want me to press it?
Yeah, press it as a backup just in case. You never know. This could go down.
Okay, it's recording.
All right, and I'm recording on WebEx and it's live streaming. So I'm gonna make you a co-chair. You know, the video quality is not good either. Or maybe it's just the connection there for some reason.
I
It
would,
looks okay. On this end, it looks fine.
Oh yeah, then it's my connection. I'm sorry. So I'll make you co-chairs and then you're good to go, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate it.
All right. So I got a meeting at 7:30 and other things, but just call myself if you have to. All right.
All right, I could just
And
stop
don't
the
forget-
meeting and it'll save, right?
What's that?
If I just stop the meeting after, it'll
Yeah,
save it, right?
you can close it down. I would save all files related to it because it asks you check that and save all files. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can end the live streaming thing. Yeah, I mean, you can interrupt me if you need to. For this meeting I have at 7:30, but yeah, whatever.
Okay.
I mean,
We won't be off until at least 8 o'clock, so
yeah, so
I'll
just
let you
call.
know. as soon as it's off.
Yeah, just call me.
Okay,
And don't forget to text me.
thanks,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
I'm working on that right now.
Okay, so we have a quorum. The time is 7:06. This is the Tuesday, November 15th, Public Safety Committee meeting.
Minutes, right?
Present, I'm Veronica Castro, I'm the chair,
Phyllis Nastasio, co-chair.
Dwayne Williams, member.
committee member. For the public, we have Jean DeFrancis from Alton International Merchants and Debbie Kowalik, who's a board member. And then everybody else that's online, thank you for joining. The 49 precinct was not able to come today. We do have the FDNY, a representative, Caesar. Caesar, I'm sorry, I don't remember your last name. But he will be doing a presentation today on fire safety. Before we get to the presentation, I just want to do a couple of things. One, I emailed the committee members the link to the video from the last meeting. It was brought to our attention that as long as we have an unabridged recording of the meeting, we don't have to have
Minutes.
minutes. So you both were able to
Mhm.
review it. Did you have any questions on it?
No.
Okay, good. Does anybody from the public have any issues that you want to bring up to the committee before we go into the FDNY presentation?
I guess I'll bring up at the gallery session, correct?
Well, this is kind of the gallery session. I want to do it before the fire safety presentation, so that way afterwards, if you have questions, for Caesar, then you could ask him questions, but I wanted to do the gallery first.
All right, so, but it doesn't pertain to to FDNY though.
No, it doesn't have to. This is just anything you wanted
Okay.
to bring up.
Well,
up to the
this
committee.
morning I received a call from a neighbor. Someone was hit, but thankfully not severely injured on Bronxdale this morning. And we're going to follow up on that, but they basically are requesting NYPD to be present during the rush hour mornings from 7 to 8 and early evenings from 3 to 5 p.m. for the NYPD to be present because this morning there was a tow truck using one out of 2 lanes, so that made the 2 lane into 1 lane with cars driving opposite directions were on 1 lane. And we have illegal parking, unfortunately, because DOT hasn't finished the pedestrian island, so people don't even know it's a pedestrian island. So is it possible for because I know the key cop said that the community people should call NYPD 49 precinct, but I think why should that fall onto us? It has to be DOT that should contact 49 precinct because this is a very dangerous area right now. People are being injured. A lady was killed. 2 kids were hit by a car, and now we found out an adult male was hit by a car, but fortunately not injured. So what can be done on this issue, please?
I'll reach out to the 49 precinct, either to Community Affairs or to Tyrone when I can get in touch with and see what we have to do to try and get someone there to have a traffic person there during rush hour, see if that's something that could be done.
And how about DOT? Because this is what they did before with the e-scooters. They dumped the e-scooter in our community and they told us we have to self-enforce, and now they created this bike protected car protected bike lanes, and it's actually made the situation more dangerous for people. Is there any way for you to contact DOT? I already contacted them. They're so tired of me, so I need someone to
I'll
contact
reach out to
DOT.
Keith Cobb. I'll reach out to Keith Cobb and see if he's probably already knows about the incident, but I'll make him aware of it again in case he doesn't know about it and ask what can be done.
He does know
I'm sure
about
he
it,
does.
but he said it's not his purview. That's what he likes to say. It's not his purview to contact the 49 precinct because if we need enforcement, it's for the community residents' responsibility to make sure that their road dive design is enforced, and also that there's outreach done so people know exactly how to use this road dive. Because I have to tell you, people are still confused on how this road dive is designed because the lines are not completed.
I agree with you, Roxanne. It
So
was a
do I.
poor design. It was
So
a
do
very
I,
poor design.
100%.
They don't want to take responsibility for it, but I'll see what I can do. Maybe if we keep bothering them about it, different people, maybe they'll actually do something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
maybe if
appreciate
as a
it.
community, we just keep emailing DOT and telling them what the issues are. Maybe they'll get sick and tired of hearing from us and they'll try to do something about it. Because I was at the town hall also. I didn't like the fact that he didn't answer any of our questions there.
Exactly, correct.
So I felt like it was a waste of time, and I felt like his attitude was, well, this is what it is, and that's it.
Well, it wasn't a waste of time, and people feel that because now he has received legal notification about this, because before that
True.
meeting, he was giving me the
True.
runaround of all that I'm the only one that's complaining. People are like telling me, is he for real? Because I've been calling his number every morning, and he doesn't answer my email anymore because I'm harassing him. I said, so am I. I said, he's telling me that I'm sending him 100 emails a day, which is exaggeration. And so then for him,
If we have to keep sending 100 emails a day from 100 different people, then that's what we'll keep doing until they do something about it. And I'd like to see what studies were conducted before they did this.
but the main thing
If they conducted
that
any studies.
we need enforcement because someone was hit by a car today. 2 kids were hit by cars last month, and this whole mess started when that poor woman was impaled on her own
On the
building
fence.
fence.
Yes,
So
I
we
agree.
really have, and I'm sure there's other incidents that we're not aware of. So I think for Key Cop to liaison with either the NYPD traffic officers or NYPD precinct, or even DOT, get their orange vest out there and start directing traffic, and not for him to sit behind us and just say, well, it's not my purview to address enforcement. That's another agency. I mean, but thank you anyhow.
Thank you, Roxanne. Anyone else have anything they want to bring to the committee? Okay. Anybody in the room have anything they want to bring to the committee? No? Okay, then if that's the case, Roxanne, I'll bring your concerns to the board, to the NYPD and to the DOT. And at this point, since there's nothing left, regular business wise, Caesar, if you'd like to introduce yourself and start the presentation, we're all eyes. Caesar, are you there? We can't hear you. You might be muted.
Yeah, this number.
Hello?
Oh, hi.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi, we can hear you now.
All right, great, thank you. All right, how you doing? My name is Caesar. I'm a firefighter here at the FDNY, and I'm gonna be doing a little presentation today on fire safety. Okay, you guys hear me?
Yep, we hear you.
All right, great. One second, I was just having a little bit of difficulties with my computer, so I just had to log in on this tablet. Hoping everything is clear though. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna start off with smoke alarms, right? So these smoke alarms, very important, and basically we should all have them.
Are you sharing anything at the moment, Caesar? Are you, or is it just a
1 second.
verbal presentation?
Yeah, I'm trying to get this up and going. 1 second.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Let me just make sure it's allowing other people to share too.
Stop my video. How's that? 1 second. Okay, can you see me now?
And we can see you. Let me just make sure.
No, that'd be a short hours.
Is that better?
That's ours. I'm just trying to see if there's a way for, are you gonna share content or are you just,
Well, I'm on the video. Can you guys see me on the video?
hi? Yep, we can see you.
Okay, so basically, as far as I'll just be showing prompts.
Yep, he's
Okay,
okay.
Okay, and we'll take it from there.
perfect.
Okay, guys. All right, so I'm gonna proceed. Basically, these smoke alarms here are very important. They are first sign of anything going wrong. So these are very important. We should have them in our apartments and in our houses. These alarms are actually available to you for free through the FDNY and the American Red Cross. There is a program that's going around. Basically, we are offering it now, and these alarms are available for free. They will come and install them in your house, free of charge. All you have to do is sign up. There's a number that I can give you, and basically all you have to do is call and set up an appointment. Okay, they're just gonna ask you basic information, your name, your address, and your name and what time you are available. They will come to your home and they will install them, and basically as many as you need. You know, if you have a 3-bedroom, they will give you 3-4 alarms. It's, you know, all free of charge. Okay, so this program is through the Red Cross and the fire department. Now, that being said, these alarms are the new alarms. Basically, these alarms are good for 10 years. The battery charge. So you don't have to change the batteries on these, but you still have to check them. Okay, you should be checking them about once a month just to make sure they're working properly. Okay, we should have at least one smoke and one CO alarm, carbon monoxide, or at least one combo alarm which has both, but we should have at least one of each, or one that does both of the jobs. Okay, that's very important. If you guys have a pen and paper, I'll basically give you guys the number now so that we don't forget or we don't get cut off. And Okay, so the number is very simple. It's 877 Red Cross, and you just leave off one S. But the actual numbers are 877-733-2767. Okay, so this is the number that you can call and basically just set up an appointment, and we will come and install. Okay. Now, the next thing I'd like to touch base on is something that basically we all do, and we all cook in our apartments, right? So basically, I'm holding up here a frying pan, and it has a lid on it. So it's very important that when we're in the kitchen, one, we're aware of what we're doing and we're paying attention. Also, another important part is that we have the right equipment, right? So if we're going to be cooking, we should have a tight fitting lid for every pot that we're using, due to the fact that a lot of fires start in the kitchen and possible grease fires, which are very common. These grease fires can be put out very simply by just basically covering that pan, just putting a lid on it and smothering it. The way the fire works is if you feed it oxygen, it's going to grow. If we smother it and remove that oxygen, we can possibly turn that fire off. One thing we do recommend is never put water on a grease fire. Okay, that can react. The water is going to react to the grease and basically like in a little explosion. All right, and it will spread and could get on you and basically harm you. Okay, so it's very important that you guys never add water to grease fires. Another cooking safety tip: we should always have a safety mitt nearby, due to the fact that that small fire can happen, or we could just be cooking, and when we grab something hot, we should be able to have a safety mitt to protect ourselves, just to make sure that if we do grab that pan and it's hot, if we react to that heat and drop it because we just burnt our hand, it won't harm us with grease, or if there is a fire in the pan, it can tip over and actually fall on us, setting us on fire. Okay, many things can happen. So just to avoid those things, safety tip: have a oven mitt nearby. Okay, another way we can actually turn off a small fire of this sort is with baking soda. A lot of us have this at home. We can actually use this baking soda to turn off a small grease fire. Okay, we just have to basically dump a nice amount of it on the pan, on the fire, and it will smother it as well and turn off that fire. Another thing I want to touch base is holidays are coming, correct? And a lot of us cook at home and have our families over. Once we finish cooking, basically we dress up, and then once it's dinner time, we actually start warming up food. We have to be very aware of what we're wearing when we're in the kitchen. It's a lot of accidents happen around this time because people are a little careless and basically make the mistake of cooking, and they have these silk blouses or nylon blouses, which are very flammable and can catch fire very quickly. So just being aware of what you're doing when you're in the kitchen and what you're wearing can, avoid these small little accidents. Okay, that's just very important that we try to make you aware that around this time. Another thing we're going to touch base on is basically knowing the type of building we live in. It's very important. Nowadays, we've been having a lot of fires. And if you know the structure you're living in, the building or the house, you know how to react to the situation. If you live in a building like NYCHA, these NYCHA buildings, these are fireproof buildings. Also, some of these high rises that have sprinkler systems, these are fireproof buildings, okay? A non-fireproof building is a smaller building like a 3-story with a fire escape on the outside. Some of these 6-story buildings with fire escapes on the outside, we call them H-type buildings. They're a little bit bigger. These buildings are also non-fireproof. So basically, if you live in a fireproof building and there is a fire in your building, you are safe to stay in the building. We actually recommend that you stay in your apartment. Okay? Staying in the apartment will keep you out of harm due to the fact that in fire, when there's a fire, there's a lot of smoke. So this smoke can harm you and possibly kill you if you don't exit the building right away and you get caught in this. But sorry, one second. So in case of a fire and you live in a fireproof building, we recommend you stay in your apartment. Okay, there might be smoke coming in from under the doorway. What we recommend in that situation is put a wet towel underneath the door to prevent some of that smoke from coming in. Basically, move to a back bedroom if possible with a window. Open the window so you can ventilate and just wait it out for a few minutes. Okay. Eventually, the fire department will show up and we will turn off that fire. The smoke will disperse at that time. Okay. So you are safer in your apartment if you live in a fireproof building. Okay. If you live in a non-fireproof building, this type of building is one with the fire escapes. And so if you live in one of these buildings, you have to get out as soon as possible. Okay. The fire in a building of this type will spread. It can spread from one story to the next, from apartment to apartment on the same floor. So it's very important that you react quickly so that you can get out of harm's way, right? So in a fireproof building, you are recommended to stay in your apartment. Non-fireproof, you're recommended to evacuate as soon as possible. Okay, so now in a non-fireproof building, you have 2 exits. Okay, you have a doorway, your front door, and you have windows. If when you are trying to exit your apartment, you open the door and the hallway is filled with smoke, that is not the exit you want to go. Okay, at that point, the fire already has spread and there's a lot of smoke consuming the public areas, which are the hallways and stairwells. So depending on what floor you live on and how far you have to go to actually exit that building can predict on, the situation that lies in front of you, right? So if you have to go down 2-3 stories to get to the street level, we recommend that you don't exit that way. If you live on a first floor and you're just few steps from the front door to exit to the street level, you may possibly try to exit through the hallway then. Okay, so just depending on your situation is where you have to make a choice. What we recommend is that you don't take that exit. Okay, you close that door and then you look for your second means of egress, which would be your window. That way you can actually exit through the fire escape. If you don't have the ability to actually climb out into the fire escape, or you're afraid of heights, at this point, basically, you're at the window, so you are consuming oxygen, which is not the smoke, correct? So you're okay. Make some noise, make yourself seen. We will come up and assist you, okay, and help you exit the building. All right, but you have to let us know where you are by screaming, yelling, just making yourself known so that we can see that you are there and we will come and assist you. At that point, we can help you exit. The reason for staying in a fireproof is that you're avoiding the smoke, right? So once you're in the apartment, you avoid the situation of smoke or anything of that sort. Nowadays, basically, a lot of the casualties that we're having are not from fire. They are from smoke inhalation. So you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you can possibly be a victim to this, okay? That's why we recommend staying in a safe atmosphere. Now, I would like to speak a little bit on the smoke. Nowadays, this smoke is very toxic. Okay, the reason for this is our furniture that we have in the house is things that we have in our places are basically made out of synthetics, plastic. Okay, so these things they burn very fast, and they give out a lot of black smoke. That black smoke is very toxic. It just takes seconds for us consuming that smoke, and we will start feeling effects, which is lightheadedness, nausea. We'll get nausea, and if we stay in that atmosphere, we could possibly faint. And if we faint and we're not taken out of the atmosphere and found by somebody, we can actually die. Okay, and that's the reason we recommend for you guys not to put yourself in that situation. Okay. Another thing we want to touch base on is you have to react very quickly nowadays to these fires because they spread very fast. I mentioned a few minutes ago that the products that we have in our apartments, the sofas and the beds, they're made out of these different materials nowadays that when they catch fire, it spreads very quickly. So sometimes we think we have time to react, and we actually can find ourselves cornered and putting ourselves in danger due to the fact that the fire grew faster than we anticipated. So if there's ever a situation where you have a fire in your apartment, you need to react very quickly and exit. Okay, because the fires will spread very fast and the smoke will be pushing out very quickly, and that smoke basically can get to you very quickly and knock you out. And if that happens, basically now you'll become, a part of that situation, which can be dangerous. Another thing we could touch base on is electrical safety. Okay, nowadays some of our apartments, we don't have sufficient electrical sockets, so we tend to go out and buy extension cords, right, to help us out. These surge protectors as well. These items basically have to be used properly, and we recommend, if you are going to purchase them, to look for this logo, which is a UL certification, right? You'll find it as such on these small products here. There's a little sticker, it has it on it. These extension cords, basically on the tags, you'll be able to see a UL stamp on it as well. Basically, all is that's saying is that these items have been tested, and they are safe to be used, and if used properly, they will work and not and basically do the job that you are asking them to do. But at the same time, you have to be aware that there's a little saying we say is we should not be using any extension cords for any items that either cool or heat. That being said, what I mean by that is like a refrigerator cools, right? Another thing, refrigerators are on for a long period of time. We normally don't turn those off. That should be plugged right into your wall socket. An air conditioner cools during the summer. That should be plugged into your wall socket. Your stove should be plugged right into your wall socket as well. Microwaves right into the wall socket. These type of items pull a lot of currency and basically can overheat. Okay, so using an extension cord can be hazardous to some of these items, depending on the material that and how the wear and tear of some of these items, right? Because once they overheat, that's when we can have a problem and a fire can be caused. There was a fire a couple of weeks ago, well, like 2 weeks ago, where two young children passed away, and then another one basically passed away in the hospital. The 22-year-old, I believe it was in Brooklyn. That fire was basically, the cause of that fire was a surcharge that overheated. So these things can actually cause fire, if they're not used properly. So when we use them, we just have to be very aware that whatever items we're putting in are not overheating them. These surcharges have 6 outlets, but that doesn't mean that we can use 6 items that are going to be powered all at the same time. We are possibly overloading that surcharge, and that can cause a problem. All right, just being aware of what's going on and what we're doing, and how we're using some of these items in our apartments and our homes can avoid a lot of these problems. All right, so just be careful with overloading your sockets. Like I said, in case of a fire, we recommend closing doors. Okay, if there's ever a fire in your apartment, we recommend that you close the door. If the fire starts in the bedroom, you close that bedroom door and you exit, right? When you exit, you close your apartment door or your house door, right? Just to make sure you can contain that fire in that apartment for the time being. That will help your neighbors, that will help your family members actually exit and get to safety. If we don't close these doors, we're giving that fire the opportunity to spread very quickly into the rest of the apartment and possibly into either the hallway or another floor of your house. Okay, so it's very important. Closing the door can help with a fire. Another important topic that I'd like to talk about is these basically lithium batteries. They are one of the biggest problems we're having right now and the cause of a lot of these fires. If you have them or if you see them in your apartment buildings or whatnot, just be aware of where they are and what's going on with them, because to this point right now we don't have answers on what's going to happen and how to go about it. But just know that it's just like everything else. If you're going to purchase any of these items that have a lithium battery, just make sure that they are certified through the UL mark, the certification that they've been checked. And also, if we're going to use them, try to follow the manufacturer's suggestions on how to charge them, because basically a lot of these problems that happen with these faulty batteries, and they can explode, and basically once they go on fire, these fires are spreading very quickly. These batteries don't turn off with water right away. Okay, so they are a problem to us, and basically right now to the public with all the basically fires that we've been having. So just be very careful with them if you have them. You know, try to if you're going to charge them, make sure you're charging them around uh, basically a at least 3 feet radius where there's nothing flammable. So if it does go up in smoke or anything of that sort, you know, you could try to avoid from catching on to other items so the fire won't spread right away. And just if you see or you hear anything happening with the item as you're charging it, and you have a chance to actually, you know, put it outside, try to do so. If not, just call 911. We will come and help you dispose of the batteries. But just know that, you know, there is a problem going on with these batteries, and we have to figure out how to go about basically charging them and keeping ourselves safe. For the most part, that's what I have for you today. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask me today. If you have any in reference to any of the things I just touched based on.
Go ahead, Dwayne.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Dwayne. I have just two questions.
Sure.
A little louder.
The first one, you mentioned about the smoke detectors. What's the recommendation for placement? Is it, for example, one per bedroom? Should it be in the hallways? What is your recommendation?
Okay.
And
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
and the second one was you didn't speak much on fire extinguishers, and maybe you could expound a little bit on the selection of them, whether it be ABC, A or B, so on and so forth.
No problem. I will touch base on that. Okay. So first thing, we'll talk about the smoke alarms. So right now, basically, if you go through the program, Red Cross, they are supplying you with, I believe, one smoke alarm per bedroom. So if you have a 3-bedroom, you will have a smoke alarm in each bedroom. And depending on the size of your living space, you possibly will have one combo alarm, which is the smoke alarm and your carbon monoxide alarm in your common area. So that's about 4 alarms in your apartment for a 3-bedroom. Okay, it all depends on the size of the apartment. So if you have a 1-bedroom, we recommend one in the bedroom and then one in the common area. Now, as far as placement, we don't recommend it like right in the kitchen because it's gonna go off due to the fact you're cooking and whatnot. So a little bit basically in between the kitchen and your living room, just so that we can avoid the alarm from actually going off every time you start cooking. So more or less that's that answer to that question. As far as your fire extinguishers, so from what we recommend, if you have a fire extinguisher at home or if you're thinking about getting one, they have them at Home Depot, right? The small portable ones that you can get. They're like combos. So if you want to, actually know about the classes and stuff, basically a class A extinguisher is for combustibles, right? That's your wood, paper. A class B is for grease, gasoline, and oil. A class C is basically for electrical, right? For burning electrical wires. So from what we recommend is just the smaller ones, which is the class A for home, because you're really not going to be putting out an electrical fire at your home, stuff like that. it's more or less being used for a small kitchen fire or any type of fire, but something of combustible material. All right. So, and then there's basically a quick way of, there's an acronym that we use. It's called PASS, PASS, which explains on how to use the fire extinguisher. These fire extinguishers come with a pin, which is like a safety, so that when we grab them, they don't actually extinguish right away. So the P stands for, you got to pull that pin. Okay, that's the first thing you do. A, you have to aim it. You aim it at the base of the fire. Okay, and then S is you squeeze and basically let the extinguisher start working. We recommend that you don't have to be so close when you actually open up these extinguishers, because they actually come with the pressurized, so they'll work within 3 to 4 feet. Okay, so we recommend you stand back when you're going to use them, so you're not, too close to the fire. So that's S, right? You have P, you pull in the pin. A, you're aiming it. S, you're actually squeezing. And then the other S is for sweeping. You're going to sweep back and forth, right? Side to side, so that you can actually try to extinguish that fire. Basically, that's how you actually use the fire extinguisher, okay? And from what we recommend, in a Class A combustible material extinguisher is more or less what you should be having at home. Does that answer the question?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Does
All right.
anybody else have any questions for Caesar? Anyone on WebEx have any questions?
Yes, just one quick question.
Go ahead.
Cesar, how are you? Regarding that Red Cross number, they will
Yes.
provide people that device. Is it a smoke alarm, or does it include a carbon monoxide detector?
Okay, so they will supply you with both.
Okay.
Okay, carbon monoxide and smoke. I'm sorry, I didn't mention this. Basically, it's any residential, right? Not commercial, and not NYCHA. If you live in NYCHA, basically NYCHA is responsible for the alarms in their facilities. All right, so it's basically the 5 boroughs, but not the NYCHA apartments and not commercial use apartments.
And is
Commercial
it
use.
and does it mean that you provide more than one if the
Yes.
person has more than one bedroom?
Yes. And they're
Okay.
free. So if they need to put 4 in your apartment, basically you're gonna have 4 alarms for free.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem.
Anyone else? Okay, I guess that's it. Caesar, thank you for the presentation. It was very informative. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Okay, if anybody else has any issues that you want to discuss for the committee or with Caesar? Okay, if not, then I'm gonna adjourn for the meeting.
All
Thank you
right.
again so much.
Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you too. It's 7:46. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone who joined on WebEx, and have a happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thank you.
How do I get out of this?
Good job, Susan. Yeah, anytime like you see WebEx with like we're trying to avoid them, I don't know why we still have them. We always have trouble with them. Did you mute it?
Hold on. Let me just make sure I'm out. I can still hear it though. Here you go. Hold on.
Yep, Caesar, you have an open mic.
Yes, 1 second. Thank you.
I guess we could leave the meeting. Just before you do that, let me just tell Jeremy. Time is it 7:47? Hopefully he'll be finished. Tiz, I'm sorry I couldn't answer your call, but then I
that's
saw
okay.
your little red head. Could you not
I
talk
was
up?
if the camera was working,
Hey,
if that was
we
working.
finished. We stopped the recording, so should we just end the meeting? Okay, so end the meeting. Deb?